All right. Impromptu live stream on Saturday today because I was too exhausted to live stream yesterday and my Wi-Fi might be a little bit funky. I tried to connect the extender before I got on here and it's acting funky. So I'm really sorry if the Wi-Fi is not all that great. I won't be able to be on here super long like I would normally be able to, but I wanted to wrap up the month with one more live stream because, yeah, I feel as though I'm getting more subscribers, so I'm able to kind of weigh in on like where a lot of women's mindset is and kind of like what a lot of women are asking me, or what it is, what like things in clarity, and kind of what you all are thinking essentially. Okay. Um. Oh my God, hopefully my Wi-Fi isn't too bad. Hold on. I think I might connect to my hotspot instead. Um, but anyway, so I have the Patreon, I have the spiritual channel, I have my TikTok. That's all linked into my link tree. Okay. I just uploaded some journal prompts to the Patreon today, helping you dismantle your need for validation. Okay. Because it's very hard to decenter men when you are not centering yourself based off of you not requiring validation from men, because your validation from men at this point, it is subconscious. Okay. That's the reason why I have the journal prompts on Patreon, and the questions are very, very specifically listed on Patreon, because when you consciously break down what decisions it is that you are making, it's in your subconscious that a man is in your brain. Okay. A man is in your brain. Okay. There are a lot of women out here that they're never going to buy the house they want. They're never going to go travel to the place that they want to go to. They're never going to want to earn more money. And the reason being is because they have a little man in the back of their head and their subconscious telling them that a man won't like this, a man won't like that. I'm going to be single for long. I'm going to stay single longer if I do all of these things, because men do not like any of these things. And another thing that I want to make very clear too, to all my new subscribers, welcome. Okay. I really appreciate the love and you all subscribing to the channel. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's free, right? It's free to subscribe to the channel. So why not subscribe and cut on the notification bell? And I post every single day. So why not get a notification when I go live stream as well? If if you like the content, you might as well subscribe. But to all the new subscribers, I just want to like give out a little disclaimer, okay? Because I've been reading the comments, and one thing that I want to make very clear over here is that I am not a dictator, okay? I am not Princella the Queen Maker. I am not Shearer 7. I am not any of the other content creators that might be in the same niche as me. Okay. I am never going to tell you all what you're supposed to do. Okay. Because I'm not a dictator. Okay. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I am here to lay out all the information out for you, and you decide what it is that you want to do with said information that has been given to you, because I can't stress myself out forcing women to make decisions. Okay. Experience is the greatest teacher. That is what's going to teach you all first and foremost. Okay. Everyone has their own path. Some of you all are going to take this content in, and your path will be that you want to go for a B. Okay. You don't want to deal with anybody. Some of you are going to take this advice and you are going to go on the path, hell, becoming a lesbian. You know what I mean? Because I mean, shit, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you follow me on TikTok, I talked about it on the live stream there. Maybe we'll talk. Maybe I'll give you guys tea on the Patreon about how that whole thing is going in regards to me. Maybe some of you will get this information and you will be liberated and you will want to do something with that liberation, right? There are a lot of men that have there are a lot of women that have decentered men. They become dominatrix, right? They will own some type of like schmex company or something like that, because they feel liberated, because they realize that they've been repressing that part of them because they care so much about what men think. And so that's the reason why I'm never going to I'm never going to tell anybody what it is that they are supposed to be doing on this channel, right? I'm never going to tell anybody to do that. So this is the reason why I want to talk about why it is why it's very pertinent and why it's very important for you to learn how to remove your need for male validation. Because once you get rid of your need for male validation, you will become free. You will finally be able to open up the door to being able to express yourself fully and really lean in and step into the woman that you are, right? The woman that you are when you dismantle all of these societal constructs, okay? Because while you're on your decentering journey, this is something that I want to make very clear. Your decentering men journey is a waste if you are not finding yourself while you're on your decentering men journey, okay? The whole point of you decentering men is for you to center yourself. That is the whole point. So if you're just doing 4B and you're not doing any insight onto who you are as a person, what your purpose is, what your interests are, and things like that, you're wasting a lot of the energy that you have now added to your life by not dealing with men. Listen, 4B ain't enough. Okay. 4B ain't enough if you are not actually digging deep into yourself to figure out who you are. That's why I have the spiritual channel, which I promise I'm going to post on the spiritual channel tomorrow. I know I've been neglecting her. Okay. I know I've been neglecting her. That's the reason why I have the spiritual channel. So that way you can kind of open up your mind and be a little bit more insightful when it comes to who you are as a person. So now that I got all that stuff out, let's talk deeper into what this kind of looks like and why you should really release your need for male validation while you're on your decentering men journey. Number one, when you are dealing with men, the game is rigged. You're playing a rigged game, okay? I want you to believe me and listen to me when I tell you that. The game is rigged. You're not going to win at this game when it comes to caring about male validation and when it comes to living a life where you are constantly considering men and what decisions it is that you are making. At the end of all of these considerations that you are making, and at the end of you making all these adjustments in your life to have a man in your life, you are going to be on the losing side every single time. Okay. So that's the first thing that you have to accept. There is no amount of changing your body or having your hair look a certain way or being submissive or cooking recipes or how well you can keep the house clean. None of that is going to get you on the winning side because the game is rigged. They rigged the game on purpose so that way they continuously are able to extract energy, time, sex, emotional labor, domestic labor. That is the reason why they're never going to tell you that you're in a rigged game. Okay. So that fact alone should be enough for you to want to be like, I'm not even going to waste my time playing all of these games in, because at some point you're going to realize that it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And the biggest thing is that I want to make sure that you all don't turn, because the biggest thing is that, like, one of the comments that I get the most on this channel is from women here in TikTok. The most commonly commented thing on my channel, and it's from older women. They always comment, I wish I would have known this sooner. I wish TikTok existed 20 years ago. I wish YouTube existed 30 years ago. So many older women say that. And the reason why is because no one told them any of this. Okay. No one told them that they were playing a game that set them up to fail, a system that set them up to fail. Okay. If you're a younger woman that is watching this, don't fall for the bullshit. Okay. Don't fall for the bullshit where these men are telling you that the women that are 30 plus are bitter, we're jealous, we're angry, we don't know what we're talking about. Do not listen to them. Okay. Because They want to keep you in this game. Men play the game of divide and conquer. Okay. That is the reason why the world looks the way that it is. That's the reason why we have racism. That's the reason why we have ableism. That's the reason why we have texturism, colorism, featureism, classism. We have all these isms because patriarchy divides and conquers everything. And one of the number one things that they use with women, they divide us by age. Okay. Any man that is telling you to not listen to someone older, and he's downing women that are older, they don't have your best interest at heart. I can 1,000% guarantee you they do not have your best interest at heart. They want you to not have any foresight, okay, or any question on you playing this game because they don't want you to be prepared. My channel is all about preparation. That's the reason why my channel exists. It's all for preparation. Whether you're young and you're in college and you want to date, because that's another thing too. There are girls that are 18 years old that watch my channel. I'm not going to sit here and tell an 18-year-old girl that she can't date. I'm not going to tell an 18-year-old girl to be 4B. That's insanity. That is insanity. I don't believe that all of your dating experiences have to be bad. They don't. When you're young, you're full of love, you're full of hope, you're full of optimism. You deserve to have good experiences when you are young, because most of my experiences with men, most of them have been good. Most of them have been good, but it's not good enough for me. It can't outdo what I do for myself. It can't bring me more joy than what I bring to myself, which is why I just have opted out of dealing with men. It's good, it's just not good enough, right? So all of this is just to let you know, like, this is what you have ahead of you. This is how men are. Act accordingly. Okay, don't get your hopes up too high. So the game is rigged. That's the number one thing that you need to understand to be able to care less about wanting male validation. Now, the second thing, I told you that when you are making decisions, there's a man in your head. And as a matter of fact, let me find the quote really quick. Let me find the quote by Margaret Atwood. Okay, so Margaret Atwood, she has a really good quote that I love. She says, "You are a woman with a man inside watching a woman. You are your own voyeur." What she means by that quote is that every decision that you make, you are subconsciously making a decision based off of what a man is, how he is going to take it, what he is going to think. Okay. That's what she is talking about. So every single time you make a decision, and I'm talking about things that you're doing daily, okay? Your outfit, your hair, what you post on social media, okay? I want you to really sit down and think and ask yourself, do I even like this outfit? Or am I just wearing this outfit because I feel as though more men are going to pay attention to me if I wear this? Do I actually like doing this to my hair? Or am I only doing this with my hair because I understand that men are going to like me more? I have a full sleeve of tattoos, okay? A full sleeve of tattoos that I do not regret, okay? Because I've always liked tattoos. I've always liked body work. I've always liked piercings, okay? I've always had an interest in those things. I like those things so much that there would never be a time in my life where I would sit back and think, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get tattoos because men don't like tattoos. Never. There should never be a time in your life where you are making a decision or you want to make a decision, and the thing that is stopping you from making that decision is if it's going to get you closer or further away from men, because I already made a video about this. Men don't really have preferences, okay? That's another thing. They don't have preferences. They're weaponizing the fact that they have preferences because they want to artificially create a scenario where you are working for them. Okay, because this is the only way that men can understand that they can get a form of validation from you. Basic nature between men and women Women do not chase after men. And I'm going to do a video on this about all of the artificial ways that men create scenarios to get you to chase after them. These standards, these preferences, this is what they do. They artificially create a way to keep you on this hamster wheel, okay? And you're going fucking nowhere. You're going to be running in place, constantly trying to fulfill these never ending changing preferences that these men have. Because at the end of the day, these men don't even know who they are. Okay, I want to make that very clear to you. These men don't know who the fuck they are. All they know is what patriarchy is telling them to be. So they're always going to be fighting who they are and what they actually want internally versus what patriarchy is telling them what they're supposed to like. Because men are naturally submissive, and a man will repress the fuck out of what he really, 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 really wants just to appease the patriarchy and appease other men. This is why these men are constantly changing their mind about what it is that they want. And then they try to claim that they're simple. No, they're not simple. They're not simple. They're just gatekeeping. That's what it is. They're not simple. They're gatekeeping. They're being evasive. Men are far from simple. Far from simple because they don't know who they are. A person that doesn't know who they are, they're constantly going to try to make it seem as if everything is just surface level and try to make everything just simplistic because men think in binaries. They think in black and white, no gray in between. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous way to think when you are not looking at any nuances in the situation. This is why men lack a lot of empathy. They lack a lot of empathy because they only see white, right, wrong, good, bad, high, low. They see everything in extremes, and you cannot reason with a person like that. That's why they have that Madonna whore complex, right? The Madonna whore. The Madonna is going to be the loving, nurturing woman who, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's very modest, she sticks to traditional things. And then they have the whore. They want to marry the Madonna, and then under the scenes, they want to deal with the whore. Okay, because that's really what their internal desire is. That's what they really want on internally. That is what they actually are wanting, right? They don't actually want to deal with the Madonna on that level, right? So asking yourself, who am I even doing all of this stuff for? Who am I even doing all of this stuff for? What is the point? Hold on. Who am I even doing all this stuff for? Right? And what is the point? And what do I have to gain? What do I have to gain from doing all of these things in the first place? You don't have anything to gain, right? You don't have anything to gain from doing all of these things and giving up your autonomy to potentially have some man in your life. Because guess what? At the end of the day, men are not going to break your fall, and men are not going to pay you back when you decide to invest into what it is that you think that they claim that they want. Okay? Men are not going to pay you back and say, I'm so sorry that I had you change your hair and change your clothing and give up your interests and do all these things. They are not going to sit here and feel bad for the fact that you decided to change all those things about yourself just for him to decide to cheat, just for him to decide to divorce you or break up with you. They don't care. They are just happy that you're doing it in the first place because that is giving them validation. Okay? You need to make sure that you are validating yourself. Okay? Validating yourself is important. You need to make sure that you like you. You need to make sure that you are consciously making choices that are making you happy. Okay? The happier you make, the more you make an effort to make yourself happy, you are going to care less about what any man is going to think, because this is the reason why a lot of men want women that are traditional. This is the reason why they talk about how they make fun of like the girl with the blue hair or, having piercings or tattoos and stuff like that. Because for men, let me put you on the game real quick. When men see you do something that's non-traditional, they understand that you cannot be controlled. Okay? When they see a woman that is very traditional, they understand that she is going to be more submissive. So they understand that if you're doing things that don't fit in the box of being traditional, you cannot be tamed. Anyone having connection issue? The live stopped. I don't know. It might have because my Wi-Fi is kind of it kind of keeps like going out for whatever reason. I try to get the extender to work, but it's being weird. But it should be good now. The Wi-Fi signal thing hasn't come up yet, so it should be fine. Um, can we talk about how men and women try to humble women they are envious of and can't? I don't know. Wait, y'all said y'all can't hear any sound. Hold on, let me see if anyone else is saying it. Let me see if anybody else is saying that they can't hear the sound. Okay, no one else is saying it. So I am going to go on ahead and keep going. Um, yeah, a lot of the time, men just want to be able to have someone that they see that they feel as though the woman can be tamed. And so she doesn't have an identity at all. And this is the reason why you need to have an identity. If you go into a relationship with your own identity and a core identity, and you are rooted in that identity, it's going to be very hard for you to put yourself in a predicament where a man is going to be able to manipulate you or harm you or use you in any type of way. Women that have a strong sense of self tend to not have anybody do anything to them, okay? Because you care more about your autonomy more than you care about keeping a man around. Making yourself to not care anymore about male validation is the day that you get your autonomy back. Autonomy is the number one thing. It is the number one thing that you have as a woman that is it's the most important thing that you have as a woman. Your autonomy. That's why here in the United States they are trying to come for women's rights. Okay? And so many studies show how you giving up your autonomy as a woman, they're doing this on purpose. Like men know this, okay? Men understand this. They understand that you not having autonomy as a woman, they know that it makes you more vulnerable. That's the reason why they don't embrace women having any form of individualism. This is why they're so quick to separate us and say, oh, well, you're a 304 and you're good for recreational use only and you're wifey type. Yes, they want to make um they want to make it seem as if like there's all these types of different versions of women or whatever, because essentially they want you to constantly be thinking about what type you're going to fit into. Well, I don't want to be a 304. I don't want to be for recreational use only. I don't want to come off like I'm a hoe. I don't want to come off like I'm a whore. Who cares? No matter how you come off, okay, no matter if you are covered in head to toe, it's not going to change the fact that the number one thing that these men want from you is sex. Okay? That's not going to change anything. You being covered, you being modest, you being submissive, it is not going to switch something in a man's brain and say, oh, she's so modest. I'm not going to want to sleep with her or rush her to sleep with her. No, he's just going to try to match that energy to let your guard down so that way he can sleep with you. Okay? All he's going to do is just change his manipulation tactic at that point. All right? Has nothing to do with anything on how you present yourself or what you change or what you choose to not do or wear or say or think or anything like that. It's not going to make a difference, because at the end of the day, these men just want to sleep with you. That's all they care about. All they want to do is freaking hunch and disrespect somebody and have someone pump up their ego and protect their ego at the same time. That's really all these men want. So what is the purpose of you doing all these things and reading all these books and getting these dating coaches and investing all this time? You're going to go full circle. You're going to go full circle and realize that it was all for nothing. Okay, it was all for nothing, because it's like, what's the point? I'm not going to get anything, because most men are average too. Like, we also have to factor that in. Most men are average, okay? These men aren't going to give you enough money to change your life, okay? They're not going to give you enough money to change your life. They're not going to be there. We clearly see they're not in college, so they're really not going to be able to teach you anything that is going to change your life in some way. They're not going to be able to offer you anything where it would even be worth it for you to make all these adjustments and constantly be thinking in the back of your head what reputation you're going to get or how you're going to be perceived by these men. The only person's opinion and perception that you should care about at the end of the day is yours. Is yours, because at the end of the day, we've all been there, right? We've all been there where we feel as though we've done something for a man or we've invested something into a man, and then you're hoping to get a payoff from it, and then you don't get a payoff from it. And it could be anything. It could be sleeping with a man. It could be carving out time for a man. I mean, it could be anything, and you feel as though, okay, I'm going to invest in this and it's going to be worth it because you're hoping that he's going to like this or he's going to appreciate this. And then you do it and he doesn't notice it, he doesn't appreciate it, he doesn't give you an experience like you hoped, and you feel super empty inside. Like you literally feel as though you've wasted so much because it's like, okay, I kind of went out on my way to do that, and like you didn't really care. You didn't really care, and that's not normal. Okay? That's not normal. At the end of the day, you should only be investing in yourself and investing in things that you genuinely care about, that you have full control over. You don't have control over how a man is going to perceive anything, because like I said before, for these men, it's a game. It's a game. They're extremely manipulative. They're extremely strategic. They don't wear their heart on their sleeve. They're not thinking about doing anything in your best interest. They're not thinking about how their decisions are going to impact you. Their whole goal is to keep this game playing with you as long as possible and make sure that they are on the winning side of the game. That's the reason why they don't like it when women get divorced from this, because they understand you lost the game at that point. The game is now over. And now you have to start from scratch. Okay. And that's another thing too. They have to start all over. Right? They have to do this all over again. They have to spend money. They have to constantly repeatedly spend money on multiple women. They have to hope that these women won't believe they haven't been lied to or been hurt or had anything. That's why they want to go for younger women, because you don't understand. Once you keep going through the same thing over and over, these men are one trick ponies. Like, come on, they're all saying the same thing. I mean, it's even so evident on Love Island. Their father and their uncle is telling them something, that the same thing that their uncle's father had taught them, and so on and so on. Then they're all watching that red pill content or whatever. They're all getting the same information from the same men that have been using the same tactics for centuries. So it gets to a point where as you get older and you keep dating, you're like, oh, it's the same thing. I already know where this is going to lead to. And now women getting younger and younger, we have the internet now. So now women are able to be like, well, I don't care. I don't want to date, or I don't want to do any of these things at all. You know what I'm saying? How do men play good girls against bad girls? Usually this is another thing that a lot of men will do. Okay, so a lot of the time what men will do is they will try to make it seem as if, oh, as a woman, you should be getting advice from married women, because how can you get, because in men's mind, when you're married, it's good. When you're single, it's bad. And the reason why is because it's a projection. A man being married, it even shows statistically. Marriage for a man is good. Single for a man is bad, because statistically, a married man is going to earn more money. His quality of life is higher, and he's going to live longer. Okay. That is the reason why they always want to try to gaslight women into saying that you need to get married. You need to get married. Yeah, you need to get married to benefit them. You don't need to get married to benefit you, because it's the opposite for women. When you're married, you're going to die sooner, you're going to earn less money, and your quality of life is going to be lower, right? They're just lying to you. Like I said before, they gatekeep information from you, okay? And they do that on purpose, because if they were to expose all this stuff to you, no one would want to marry them. right? They're not going to sit here and show all of their cards to the very same people that they need to extract something out of. That's just not going to happen. That's why when a lot of women say, well, why are they lying so much and why won't they be honest? They won't. They're, of course they're going to lie to you, because they have to lie to you, because if they tell you the truth, that's going to put everything in your best interest. And that's what they don't want. They don't want to have your best interests at heart. They must lie to protect what their actual strategy and what their actual intention is. So a lot of that good girl, bad girl stuff is, it's really just them trying to weaponize the idea of trying to convince you to do something and try to make it seem as if it's good for you when it's bad for you and it's good for them. That's the reason why they shame S workers, right? Oh, they're going to call you a 304, and they're going to call you all of these names or whatever, even when you're an S worker. The reason why is because S workers are able to exploit men, just like men are able to exploit women through marriage. Marriage is a form of exploitation, okay? Point blank, period. Most married women are getting exploited for pennies, okay? The longer the marriage is, it's slave wages, essentially. You're getting paid slave wages the longer you decide to get married. You're being exploited. I'm going to make a video about it, but someone sent me a video on TikTok, and this woman was in the passenger side and her husband was driving. And she asked her husband while he was driving, she said, what is the best part about marriage? And you want to know what he said? He said sex. He said that's the best part about marriage is sex. If men could be honest, that's going to be the number one reason why they like marriage, because a lot of women don't realize how men have to spend a shit ton of money, invest a ton of time, and invest a ton of energy into being able to even get a chance. Okay? Even get a chance to sleep with a woman. Okay? They are not getting it as easy as you think, as they're trying to portray and make it out to be, like they're saying. I'm telling you, they're not. Once a man is tired of hunting for sleeping with someone, that's going to be the day that he's going to be hunting for a wife, because he wants to be able to just have it on command. He wants to be able to have it ready for him. He does not want to keep going out trying to manipulate a new woman, trying to spend more money, trying to do all these games and do all these things. No, he will get to a point where he's tired of doing that. He doesn't have enough money to continue to do that. And so he will exploit a woman through marriage. All the things that men don't want you to do, all the things that men shame you for, are the very same things that they are doing. That's the reason why they don't want you to do it. Because there's not a single man that had to get dragged in by his arm to come to a strip club. There's not a single man that had to have his hands be on a keyboard, be on his phone to create an OnlyFans account. There's not a single man that had to be forced into doing that. Every single one of them are willing participants to create an account, use their money, and spend their money to be able to get access to women, because they want to do it. You don't want to do any of that stuff with them. That's why they have to convince you. That's why they have to say, you should want marriage, and you should want children, and you should want any of these things. Okay, well, if people really wanted it, why do you have to constantly keep reinforcing it? Why do you constantly having to keep bringing it up? No one has to tell men, oh, yeah, you need to be watching porn. Oh, yeah, you need to be going to the strip club. Oh, yeah, you need to go get OnlyFans. No one has to tell them that, because that's what they actually want to do. That's what they actually enjoy doing. There is not a single thing that men are being told that they have to do, and that's the most irregular thing that they're doing. No. They're doing the number one thing that they want to do, that no one is forcing them to do. And then they sit here and say, oh, the old ball and chain and marriage, and I don't want to get married, and yada, 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 yada. It's the old ball and chain. Exactly. So someone has to force you to try to get married, because in your head, a lot of these men, they just want to use marriage as leverage. This is why you caring about their validation is just a power play. Male validation is simply a fucking power play for you to have your self esteem be low and for you to constantly be changing yourself for them to feel better about themselves. That's the only reason why they're bringing it up. That's the only reason why you'll lose weight. And then as soon as you lose weight, I liked it when you were bigger. I liked it when you were overweight. I liked it when your hair was longer. But you just said you like my hair short. Like, which one is it? It's too much. Okay. The goalpost is going to constantly be moving. This is the reason why. This is the reason why men usually tell on themselves very easily. Okay. Um, Men that are constantly saying, or they only notice you when like you're sexy, you're very agreeable or submissive, or you're doing something for them. If you're dealing with a man and you need to be asking yourself, okay, how often do I have to like repress how I truly feel? Like, how often do I have to shut myself up to make sure that we don't have an argument? Because even if I bring up something small, he is going to turn it into something. How often do I have to soften my voice? How often do I have to over explain just for him to like me even a little bit? A lot of women subconsciously are shape shifting to be digestible to men. Okay. You're not, that's not normal. Okay. That is not normal because guess what? Men aren't doing that shit. Men are literally sitting here like, I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to be mean to you. And you should just take me as I am. Right? They're not going to do, they're not going to change a morsel of a characteristic trait that they have. So why should you? Why should you? Being alone and not dealing with someone is way better than sitting here having a nitpick how you're like, imagine being married to someone and you really have to sit here and pick out the day, the time, the opening statement, the tone of your voice, the softness of your voice. Like, there are women who are in these marriages and these relationships with men, and they're over here doing mental fucking gymnastics on just how they can have a simple conversation with somebody. Like, like that's not normal. Okay, that is not normal to sit here and have to be thinking of all of these things that you have to do just to be able to get through to somebody. That's not normal. Okay, like I want to make that very clear. That's dysfunctional as fuck. If you're dealing with somebody and you literally have to walk on eggshells and curate a way that you are going to be able to communicate or keep him from not cheating. That's another one. That's another one. That's why they bring up cheating so much. Cheating is another thing of leverage that they like to use for women, okay? They're going to cheat anyway. Okay, they're going to cheat anyway. So you might as well do whatever the fuck you want because you doing all the things is not going to stop them from cheating. Men are always going to exercise their free will. Okay, always. If they had a bad day that day and you didn't pat them on the back like they expected you to or like they wanted you to, and there's someone else that's entertaining him, he's going to cheat. Okay? He's going to cheat. That's how little. I don't think, and that's another thing. I don't really think women realize the very small thing. It doesn't take a large crack to want to convince a man to go cheat. I think a lot of women think that it is just this crazy big thing that you have to do to get a man to have it in his head that he wants to go cheat. Men have very fragile egos. Okay? His fragile ego will literally have him waking up wanting to cheat on you all because you didn't tell him good morning that morning. I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm dead freaking serious. That is how small it will be of a thing that you will do that will be enough to convince them and say, you know what, fine. She doesn't love me. I'm just gonna go cheat then. It's crazy. Men don't value these relationships the way women do. Women are thinking we, and men are thinking me and my D, in the great words of Samantha Jones. Yep. Yep, exactly. And that's another thing. That's a tactic that a lot of men use. Whenever a man, I can guarantee you this 100% accuracy. When a man is trying to coerce you, the number one word that he is going to use is we. Okay? Whenever a man is trying to coerce you into something, he is always going to use the word we. If you say, I don't want to get a home before we're married, okay, I want to get a home after we are married, but but we can have it'll just be easier for us to, live under the same roof, and we'll be able to start a family, and we'll be able to go shopping for furniture, and we'll be able to find a home that's actually closer to where we work. That's when the we talk starts, okay? Because they have to paint the picture to make it seem as if I'm not controlling you. I'm not above you. I'm not telling you what to do. It's going to be a group effort. Men always want to say we the second that they're trying to coerce you into something, because they don't want to make it seem as if they're controlling you, because they understand that, well, if I just tell her what to do, then she'll actually have an option to not want to deal with me anymore. So of course he can't wag his finger and say, no, if you want to stay with me, you're going to sit here and get a house with me. Of course not. That would actually give you an opportunity to say, okay, he's controlling, he's over here trying to force me into doing something that I don't want to do. Fuck no. They're always going to say, we, us together, our family. They're going to try to make it seem as if they have this. Exactly. We have to, they're always going to try to make it seem as if it's just some group effort between the both of you. Oh my God. Speaking of home, this washed up 45-year-old delivery driver tried to coerce my friend, who was 20 at the time, to get a mortgage with him for a new home, and she just began working. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. That's insanity. He also coerced her into sleeping with him and gave her herpes because he said it wasn't contagious. Oh my God. That's terrible. Yes, and that's I'm trying to think of the video that I posted. So the girl that got married at 28 and she's getting divorced at 29, essentially that's what her husband did. Because the whole premise of that movie, Enough, is the hero complex. Be very leery of men who are trying to come into your world and life and save the day. Be very, very leery of a man that is trying to save the day. He sees you vulnerable in some shape or form, right? He understands that you're going through something, and he's there trying to take the load off. He's trying to make your life easier. A lot of the time, they're trying to weaponize your vulnerability against you because you're easier to take advantage of when you're in that state. That's the reason why when Slim was working at the diner, right? Slim was working at the diner, and her soon to be husband, he was actually being strategic and partnering up with it was his friend being an asshole to her, and then he stepped in to save the day, to be the hero. There is no such thing as a knight in shining armor. It's never a such thing as a knight in shining armor, because these men don't want to save you. They don't. They don't genuinely want to save you. These men don't. You have to think of it like this. Men claim that they're protectors, but their protection is based off of who is in proximity to them, which even then does not check out, because the number one person that is going to be a victim to a man doing some type of harm is going to be the woman that he is living under the same roof as. So technically, the woman that is in close proximity to him is everything but protected. She's most likely going to be the victim. So when these men are coming in as a knight in shining armor, 9 times out of 10, it is a manipulation tactic to bring your guard down. This is the reason why a lot of the time when you are doing things for male validation, you're making yourself as a target. I'm telling you, you are making yourself as a target when you have your brain functioning on what a man wants you to do, say, act, wear, dress. You're making yourself a victim at that point. This is the reason why male validation is the last thing that you should even be thinking of. Okay. You doing things for male validation is just signaling to men that they can use you. Honestly, I would say that's the best way that I could put it. You're signaling to these men that you are somebody that they can take advantage of and that they can use. And that's the last thing. That's the last thing it is that you ever want. You should be living a life where the last thing you want is to be able to attract a man. Honestly, that should be the last thing on your list that you are caring about. Point blank period. Because what the hell? And then the thing about it, and then this is the thing too. So you said men don't even put your coat on for you or open the car door. They let the door slam in your face. They can't even do basic shit, let alone be an actual good person. And this is the thing. Ladies, you also have to realize, because men's effort has become so low, this is why men don't hold other men accountable. The reason why men don't hold other men accountable is because they're able to do very below bare minimum things with the likelihood of women being more impressed by it. Because like the guy that I cut off, that I was like, he was my sneaky link or whatever, back in the Midwest whenever I would visit there, he would do all of that stuff. He put on my coat for me, open up the door, walk me out, like send me with something to eat. And that shit didn't impress me. That shit didn't impress me because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're a woman that's considering still dealing with men, you literally have to make a list of, this is what he's supposed to do. Okay. There's like a job description, right? In your job description is shit that you're supposed to do. Okay. You're supposed to do this stuff. Men have a job description on shit that they're supposed to be doing. You have to have that ingrained in your brain, because if you have that ingrained in your brain, you're not going to be getting all happy for getting roses on the first date or flowers on the first date. That's what they're supposed to do. Okay? It should be in their job description to court you and make you feel valued and wanted and honored and respected. Okay? Don't ever compare a man with the worst man that you've ever been with. This is the reason why, as a woman, they don't want you to have experiences, right? I don't want a woman that's traveled and that buys all these things and that treats herself nice. Yes, the reason why they don't want that for you is because they have to compete with that. They have to compete with your experiences, your lifestyle, all of the things that you've done. They have to compete with that. You set the bar and they don't want to work that hard, right? They don't want to do all of that work. That's why they want women that are younger. They don't have a whole lot of life experience. Like, I just want you to imagine this, right? Because I know a lot of women like can't get their head wrapped around younger women. Everybody pretty much grew up in a household. Everyone's on the fool's journey at 18. Okay. You've been under the roof of your parental guardian, however you grew up. You have had to have a drill sergeant, essentially, or have a parent that didn't like you. You've had to have yourself under someone's thumb for 18 years. You want to get the fuck out of there. You want to get the fuck out of there when you're 18, okay? You're tired of being told what to do. You're tired of having rules. You're tired of having boundaries. So just imagine when you're so thirsty to leave your parents' house at 18 years old, you think you're really going to question a fucking 30-year-old man that has 3 roommates? and be like, I'm not gonna deal with no man that's got 3 roommates. Hell no, you're gonna be like, my parents aren't gonna be fucking home. I don't have to answer to nobody at this 30-year-old man's house that's got 3 goddamn roommates. My parents ain't there. The bar is so low for you having parental supervision. You're just happy that you ain't got to deal with your fucking parents anymore. This is the reason why there was a video that was sent to me, and this guy literally said, a woman just needs to stay at home until a man decides to marry her. Yeah, because you're going to be so happy that you don't have to bring him over to your parents or constantly go to his house or constantly have him over and limit yourself to what it is that you're going to do. You're going to be so excited with the freedom, and y'all are going to be living in a shack, living with his roommates, living in the hood. You're going to be excited for those things because you've reduced yourself to just living with your parents. You can't be free when you're living under the roof of your parents. I think I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life, girl. Oh my God, y'all remember when the male podcast told us to scratch the list? We have too many expectations. Men are scammers. Queen is correct. Exactly. They don't want you to have any expectations because they just want you to be happy that there's a man in your life. Even if he's disrespecting you, even when he's not treating you the way that he should be treating you, they just want you to be happy that they are there. And it's like, no. A puppy a puppy is more excited to see their owner and shows more respect for their owner than a man in most cases is going to do when they come into your life. By choice, I'm going to be celibate. LMAO, I don't want it. I pretty much done decentered my way into gayness at this point. I pretty much done decentered my way into gayness at this point. There's a girl that, well, she didn't start at my work. She's just filling in at my work. And I'm like, oh, I like her. I actually like the girl. Being happy a man is in your life in 2025 is insanity, and they don't get that. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said before, I don't understand why they thought. I don't understand why they thought that after running the same play for century after century after century, women were not going to just like catch on. Like at some point, women were going to catch on to what the fuck you were doing. And now that we have social media, the gates are open. Okay. The gossip, the news, whatever you want to call it, is all out. So it's to the point where it's like, oh, you had this experience, you had this experience, you had this experience, yada 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 yada. And it's like, what? Like, we've all having the same experience. So it's like, okay, we're not crazy. Obviously, it's something going on. Obviously, it's something going on with these men. Yeah, there is a girl. There is a girl at work. She's actually in a relationship, so it's not like it's really anything. Not that I really want to pursue anything. All right. I don't want to pursue anything really with her because I'm too busy. But she's gonna be at like our job for just a couple days next week, and then she's going back to like wherever she had came from, the location that she came from. But I knew she was a lesbian. I did. I knew she was a lesbian. I was like, oh my God. I was like, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. But I had told her, I was like, women kind of scare me. Women have gotten more obsessed with me than men have. They have. Women have gotten more obsessed with me than men have. But she has a girlfriend and she's a little young. She's a little bit younger, but it would be cool to like hang out with her. It would be cool to like hang out with her. But yeah, I have a crush on her, whatever. And she's definitely my type. She is. She's definitely my type. She is. She's definitely my type. And she actually had asked me to go to the Pride parade this weekend, but I told her no. And the reason why I told her no was because she already has to drive an hour. She has to drive an hour to help us out at our location. And where the parade was is like closer. it's closer to where she was driving an hour to. And so I was like, I was like, I was like, you literally have been I was like, you've been driving an hour every day this week. I was like, I don't want you to drive another hour, like just to go to the pride parade. Like, I don't want to do that, you know? And then she asked me for my social media. And I was like, I only have social media like monetized for. So I was like, and I don't give it to like, I don't give it to people. Like, I don't give my social media to people. It's like, if my content is within the niche of content that you like, then you'll find it that way. But otherwise, like, no, like, I don't. I like to keep my personal life and like my content creating very separate. So I denied two of her um I guess like ways of communicating with me, but I have 4 days to kind of like seal the deal in a way or whatever. At least just like get her number, you know, and hang out with her. She's young. I'm 32 and she's going to be 27 in a couple weeks. She's very, very young. Not robbing the cradle young, but she's very young and she's got a girlfriend that's in college and they're long distance and yeah. You know, I could have offered a driver, but I'm gonna be honest, I would still be going out of my way. And I have my pole dance classes all morning, and I didn't want to give those up. Like, I'm sorry. Exactly. She clearly wants to hang out. I can tell that she's attracted to me. I could tell that she's attracted to me. You said 27 isn't young. I'd go for the feminine lesbian girlies if I was one. So like she's kind of like on the brink. She's on the brink. So I think I just realized that I have a type. I do. I think I just realized that I have a type. So I like mask women with like a little pinch of femininity, like a stem, but I like Latinas. I do. I like Latinas. So she's actually Dominican. She's actually Dominican and like she dresses like more masculine, you know what I mean? But she's got these super long locks. She's got these like gorgeous, like hazel eyes. Like she's really, really pretty. She's really, really, really pretty. And it's actually really funny because I talked about the story. Did I talk about it on here? I talked about it on TikTok. So one of my exes, I really do think I really do think that he probably like cheated on me with this girl, but I also think the girl was probably a closeted lesbian. I really do. She's a pastor kid. She's Puerto Rican and like she kind of looked the same. Like she had like very light eyes or whatever. And then long story short, I had broke up with my boyfriend, ended up going to Vegas with that girl and like the girl that she was cool with in Vegas, we didn't hear for them for hours. Okay, we didn't hear for them for hours and like they were very close and they were very like flirty and stuff like that. And my friend that came with me, even my friend was like, those bitches are gay. And I literally asked her about it. I was like, I think you like women. I'm like, I think you're probably a lesbian. And I was like, I understand why you wouldn't want to come out because your father is a pastor. So like that makes sense why you wouldn't want to come out. But she was like trying to deny it, but she was just, I'm like, bitch, you're a lesbian. Okay. Like you're a lesbian. But I was attracted to her. I was attracted to her. That's why I'm like, even if you did cheat with, I was like, even if you did cheat, or even if my boyfriend did cheat with you, I'm like, I don't really care. And I ended up going to Vegas with her. Yeah, like she has like just a sprinkle. And then like her girlfriend's gorgeous. Her girlfriend's like super, super, super pretty. Girl, you need to go for her. I don't care. Trust me. Like I like the girl. I like the girl. Normally I eat my lunch in my car. Ever since that girl started working, I eat my lunch up at the front with her. And then like cuz it was yesterday I bring my breakfast to work and like I kind of eat it in the middle of the morning. And so she told me that she was hungry and she had her breakfast that was on its way to get delivered. And so I said, "Oh, I said I have breakfast, but I haven't eaten it yet." I went out to my car to eat my breakfast and then I came in and I came in from having my breakfast and she was like, "I was looking for you." She's like, "I was looking for you because I wanted to eat breakfast with you." Happy birthday, Tatum. She was like, I wanted to eat my she's like, I wanted to eat my breakfast with you. And I was like, "Oh." And then I've been staying after work and shit. Like I stayed over at work like 45 minutes just to talk to her. I definitely like her. I do. I definitely like her. Like she had me excited to come to work. Like next week, like I'm going to be excited every day to come to work. I'm going to be super excited to come to work every day next week. And then the first day that she had met me, I didn't have my makeup. I didn't wear my makeup that day because it was my period last week. And so I was like very low energy. And so I was like, oh, I was like, ooh, I was like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna wear like my makeup because I could tell she liked femmes. Like I could tell she definitely liked girly girls. So I was like, because normally I wear my makeup to work, and so I was like, I'm gonna wear my makeup. And then Delina Parmarley, like that fragrance smells so good on me. Like I get so many compliments. And so I was like, she's gonna compliment me on my makeup and on my fragrance. And so lo and behold, on Friday, yesterday, she was like, your makeup looks so beautiful. And she was like, you smell so good. She's like, you smell so, so, so great. And I was like, well, thank you. Well, thank you. But yeah, imagine she's seeing this. Maybe I'm gonna get her number. I am. I'm gonna get her number. It's just like, oh, she's 27 and like, I don't know, she's 27 and she has a girlfriend. So it's like I don't want to come off like I don't want to break anything up. I don't know. I kind of feel like at 27, I'm like, oh, just get all like the good dating experiences. You know what I'm saying? Get you all the dating experiences that you need. I'm not trying to break anything up, especially because it's long distance. That's very tempting. Okay. That's very, very tempting to that's a very that's a big window. That's a very, very big window to be able to have an opportunity to have something to happen, which is the reason why like I'm treading very lightly. Because like I also don't want to be like disrespectful or anything, you know. 27 and 32 is hardly a difference, maybe. I don't know. It's just like I feel as though like she's such a baby. And it's so crazy because like her face is such a baby and like I don't know. Like, I feel like I just wanna take her and, like, just take care of her. That's really what it is, but I feel as though that's how men should feel when they claim that they like women. Like, when I see a woman that, like, I'm very interested in, I want to take care of her, you know what I mean? Like, I actually wanna do things for her, like, she was new at our location and, like, she's used to, like, a much nicer location, a much bougier location, and, like, they have, like, a nice, um they have like a nice like eating area and all the stuff back there with like a full sink. And so she wanted to wash her Tupperware, but we only have a sink. We don't have any dish detergent. We don't have any washing detergent. And so she was like, where's the like soap at? And I'm like, girl, we don't have any soap. Like I just rinse my stuff out and throw it in the dishwasher when I get home. And so she ended up walking back up to the front and she left her dirty Tupperware in the back. I didn't have anything to wash it out with, but like I rinsed it out for her and like cleaned it out for her. And then I gave her the Tupperware back and I was like, hey, I cleaned it. I cleaned it for you or whatever. And she was like, oh, thank you. So it's like, when I meet like a woman that like I'm interested in, like I want to do things. Like I feel as though men that claim that they're heterosexual, like if you don't get that feeling where like you actually see a woman and like she's beautiful, like you're actually interested into her, like she checks all those boxes for you. Like I kind of feel as though like naturally, like that's what you would want to do. Like you would want to do something like for somebody that you're attracted to and that like you really like. And I kind of feel as though any man that like doesn't meet you like with that energy, like they don't like women for real. They don't like women for real because anytime I see a woman that I'm interested in, I'm like, oh my God, what can I do to make her life easier? But her birthday's coming up. Okay. Her birthday is coming up. So best believe I'm going to get her number and I'm definitely going to make an effort for something for her birthday. Cause like she showed me her birthday outfit. She showed me the shoes that she bought that got delivered. She showed me the shirt that she's gonna be wearing. So like I do kind of like see like her style, like how she likes to like dress or whatever. So she told me a lot about herself. She did. She told me a lot about herself. So I have a lot to work with, and I know her birthday, and I know where she works. So yeah, so there's like a lot of information that I have where, yeah, it felt good because I'm like, yes, my heart's not so cold. Like I'm not such a cold person. You know what I mean? Because I have not seen a man that has like ever given me that feeling in my whole entire life. I've never looked at a man and looked at him and was like, I want to do everything for him. So I don't know. I feel like it was like more of a confirmation too for me to like understand, like, okay, I'm not so, she's a Leo. She's actually a Leo because she's a late July baby. She's a Leo. And then it's so crazy because our sleeves are the same. We have a full sleeve on the same arm with an animal on the shoulder. I have an elephant and she has a lion. Yeah, the video is gonna get posted. The video is gonna get posted. But yeah, I was like, "Oh my god," I was like, "We both have a full sleeve and we have an animal on our shoulder." Oh, what? Mhm. And she's fluent in Spanish and like, oh, she was speaking Spanish and I was just like, oh my goodness." And then look at how smitten I am. Like, I can't stop talking about this girl. Her first day, I have because my her first day was also one of the days that I was going to go work out. So usually I bring my workout clothes with me, change it to my workout clothes, and then I leave. So I ended up changing into my workout clothes, and like, you should have seen her. You should have seen her look at me when she saw like me in like my shorts and like my top and everything. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, she looked like she liked what she was seeing. You know what I mean? Like, she enjoyed like the view. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. Okay, I'm sure she has a line of people. I'm sure she has a line of people that are interested in her because she's so pretty. She is. She's gorgeous. Like, she's got hazel eyes, these super long locks. She's tatted. Like, she's gorgeous. Like, she's really, really pretty. Really, really, really pretty. So like, I understand Leos. Like, I always compliment her. Like, I always like make sure I let her know, like, you know, how good of a job she's doing. And then sometimes she'll kind of, I am giving y'all all the tea. I'm giving y'all all the freaking tea. So like, like, she doesn't mind. Like, sometimes she'll get aggressive, but not aggressive. Like, sometimes she'll get aggressive. So like, I came out for a patient and like, out of nowhere there were like these boxes, not boxes, but there was like new like garbage bins that were stacked up, and she was like, why hasn't anybody like put in these garbage bins together? And I was like, I just came out to go. I'm like, I just walked out of my room to get a patient. You need to calm down. Okay. You need to calm the fuck down. She's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, but I'm just coming out to get a patient. I'm like, I'll figure it out. So I brought the patient back, had the patient change. And then I started going ahead and like taking these garbage things that she was talking about and like putting them together. She's like, you're putting them together? And I'm like, yeah, because you're yelling at me, putting them together. And she was like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to yell at you or whatever. And I'm like, girl, whatever, it's fine. And so she was just like showing me how to like do it or whatever. And I just kept like, I kind of kept negging her about like yelling at me. And she's like, you're being passive aggressive. But she's like, at least I took accountability for like yelling at you. She did. She's like, at least I took accountability for yelling at you. She's like, I try to take accountability. It was just cute. It was just like, it was super cute. I listen, I was going through my camera roll. I was going through my camera roll, and there were a couple spare dingling pics that were sent to me. Oh, I fucking deleted those pictures so fast. I deleted them so fast. I looked and I was like, wow, I really don't want to. I really don't want this anymore. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I really don't want this anything. I don't want these meat sticks. I do not want these meat sticks at all. But like I said, I'm not trying to like fall in love with this girl or anything crazy, but it would just be nice to like spend time, you know what I mean, and like have a friend, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I think at this point with men, it's just like really, 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 really like understanding. Because the thing about it was that like I had dealt with women, and like I said before, there was just a high level of obsession. There was a high level of obsession from them, which kind of deterred me from wanting to like lean into wanting to deal with them, honestly. Um, More so based on the fact, like, I don't know, it just kind of felt like a lot of insecurity on a few women's end, and that kind of made it more difficult because like I'm very strong rooted in like who I am. But yeah, that kind of was like deterring me to like really go on the opposite end. But I mean, I'm definitely not new to this. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to delete them pics when you don't like that man. Yeah, and it's like I haven't been sleeping with anybody, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with any of these men in no way, in no capacity. Cause it's like, then I had my little like sneaky link or whatever, and like that turned me off to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to sleep with them anymore. Like the experience was good until it wasn't good anymore. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm not really getting anything out of this experience, like while dealing with them. But oh my gosh, like, uh, I haven't had anyone make me like glow and like be giddy and be happy and like be excited like ever. Like I've never had a man be able to do that. Never. Never. Literally, like I can just look at this girl and talk to her, and like not one time am I thinking like, how do I get myself to like him? Like, he's kinda ugly, like, how do I get myself to like him? Because like, I kid you not, that was my dialogue with every man, even models, okay? I've literally dated models, like, I've literally dated men that were objectively handsome, and, like, you know how dogs, like, they're like, "Hmm." I literally would be dating men and talking to men and be like, "Hmm, like, is he really I don't know. Like he's okay looking, but like I just have to like squint my eye and like turn it. Like I would be so in my head, like trying to convince myself that like I was attracted to them. You know what I mean? I look at her and like I don't have to do any of that. You know what I mean? I don't have to question myself for once and be like, do I really like him? Am I really attracted to him? You know what I'm saying? But overall, like I've actually because I'm really big on physical attraction, but it's like even when I'm physically attracted to a man, I would always have that thought in my head. Always. I always have that thought in my head. And I'm like, that's not normal. Why am I doing that to myself? That's not normal. Okay, I'm going to be on here for 10 more minutes and then I'm going to go because I'm getting my nails done. And guess what? I'm getting them done short, bitch. I'm getting him done short, bitch. She's like, you like women? She's like, you don't come off like you like women at all. And I'm like, well, my nails are long. And I was like, if truth be told, I'm like, I knew I did, but I was like, yeah, I have full confirmation that I really do. So I probably I probably should start getting myself a little bit closer. Probably should start getting myself a little bit closer. I need to get my nails short. Exactly. Because it's like, that's the thing. It's just like they're never the complete package to the point where it's like they're unattractive in some way. Like if they're physically attractive And if they're physically attractive and even if they have money, it's just like something with their personality that then makes them unattractive, or their lack of emotional intelligence that makes them unattractive. Like, no, and the thing about it is that we all have negative qualities, right? We all have negative qualities, but you know, um yeah, didn't know long nails could mean women loving women. Well, I mean, the thing about it is that even if women have long nails, usually they have these nails short. So, like, the thing about it is that, like, so the girl that I work with, like, that's not my first time, like, coming to, like, a woman, like, trying to, like, make a pass at a woman. A few months ago, I went to a place in Chicago when I was in town, and, like, the bartender was gorgeous. Like, the bartender was absolutely gorgeous. And I knew she was a lesbian because she had these fingers. She had these fingers short, these nails short. And I could just tell she was a STEM. She was a STEM. I like STEMs. I think she was Italian and black. I think she was Italian and black, and I could tell she lifted weights. I could tell she was like heavy into fitness. But of course, she also had a girlfriend. Like, I'm attracted to women that are in high demand, okay? And it was a new relationship. Even with this girl that I work with, her relationship is only they've only been together for 5 months. And it's long distance. They're in puppy love phase. It was the same girl that was the bartender. Puppy love. Mhm. You're so cute about this, girl. I am, child. I am. Yeah, short nails definitely can signal that it's a woman that likes woman. And then yeah, if they have like the vampire nails, you know for sure that they're, like I said before, my Gaydar's pretty good. I'm pretty able to tell if a woman likes women or not. I've been right every single time. So stems are stud femmes, okay? So like they're not straight up like short hair, baggy clothes, deep voice. Like they're not just straight up like a woman that's presenting as a man. They're still feminine. They're feminine with like some mask presenting things. So, like she might have very long hair. She may have very long hair and like she may dress kind of like a boy, but she'll still wear makeup. You know what I mean? So there's just little changes, or she might have short hair. She might have short hair and get her nails done and like, dress kind of girly, even if her hair is short, or even if her hair is in like kind of like a masculine haircut, right? Yes, I like women that are androgynous, like a woman like Tiana Taylor. I've always had a girl crush on Tiana Taylor. Like I like women that look like Tiana Taylor, like that androgynous look. She's very fit. She has muscle on her. And, she could have her hair short. She could have it long. Like, I like a Tiana Taylor type. Women are beautiful, but I just can't touch someone else's kitty cat, but we hug LMAO. I think I'm so desensitized to kitty cat because I have to look at kitty cat all day at work because the thing about it is that like women, so like I will ask the woman like, "Do you want to insert the probe or do you want me to insert the probe?" And they're like, "Oh, girl, put it inside there." So obviously I have to look I gotta look to be able to put it in there. And I'm just like, it's cool. I don't care. I like flowers. I like roses. So it wouldn't make sense for me to not like how a vagina looks. Vaginas are just human flowers. When I was a dancer, I had a stud obsessed with me. She was a sweetheart. Aww. I have no gaydar with women unless she's obviously a stud stem. Yeah, I could see that. I have short nails, but that's because I'm a massage therapist. Oh my god, there's a wiki article, queer manicure. I can't see myself doing all that. Don't get me wrong, it's weird. Like, I'd be like, take a deep breath in, blow it out, take another deep breath in and blow it out. Like, sometimes it could get so awkward putting that probe in because I'm just like, we have the same parts. So I'm able to empathize on like what it is that I'm like doing. You know what I mean? And like, I try to make sure that like I'm gentle and stuff like that. I love that. I literally refer to vajayjay as a lotus flower. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, vagina. I've always thought that vaginas just looked better. I've always thought that they looked better than dingaling. Honestly, I had a patient. Ugh, I had a patient 2 weeks ago. He walked in for a scrotum. I'm gonna be on here for 5 more minutes, and then I gotta go. He walked in for a scrotal ultrasound, and he was this big old black man, and it's fucking 90 degrees outside. I think he might have taken the bus and walked. Okay, it was hot outside. This man has on jeans, pants, and a fucking cowboy hat in 90-degree fucking Florida weather. Okay, comes in, stat walking scrotal ultrasound. So I ask him, I'm like, why are we looking at your testicles today? What are we doing? And he can barely explain to me why we're doing the ultrasound. He can barely explain to me anything. And so I'm trying to like guess what he's trying to say so I can hurry up and get the history and get this shit done and over with. So finally I get him to tell me why we're there or whatever. And so I tell him, take off your pants and your underwear, use it to cover up. I'll step out. Okay. I come back in, we do the scrotal ultrasound. I work alone. Okay. Normally when you work with multiple people and you have a male that you work with, yes, normally the males would do the scrotal ultrasounds and then the women would do the transvaginal ultrasounds normally, but I work alone, which is how I like it. So it is what it is. So anyway, I end up scanning him. And first of all, like, ooh, his dingaling looked disgusting. Okay. It was uncut. It looked, oh my God. It looked like a earthworm. It looked like an earthworm inside of an earthworm. It looked disgusting. So then I'm scanning him or whatever. And the fucking earthworm blossomed into a fucking caterpillar. Okay, the earthworm blossomed into a caterpillar. I'm not trying to be too crass, but yeah, his earthworm turned into a caterpillar. And so I literally, and like it was pointing at me, like it was literally pointing in my direction. And so I literally told him, I was like, can you grab your penis and put it away from me? And he was like, grab my penis. And I'm like, yes, grab your penis and put it away from me. And so then when he grabbed it and he put it away, I literally just took the sheet and then covered up his hand and covered up his pee-pee. Like, because the thing about it is that like I have to be so crass and so blunt with them because men, if you in that circumstance, if you're jolly and you're joking and you're laughing, we're talking about an old man, me, and a hard dingaling. No, I'm gonna be rude, I'm gonna be crass, I'm gonna be straight to the point, and I'm gonna make you feel fucking uncomfortable because when you're jolly and joking and stuff like that, they're gonna take that as an invitation. Nope. Nope. So I'm an asshole and straight to the point and very, very crass with my delivery, very blunt with my delivery because I don't want you thinking anything. Right. I don't want you thinking anything. And then another thing that I did, he was like sighing. He was going like, oh shit. So then guess what I did? I took the probe and nudged it into his fucking balls. Nudged it into his fucking balls. Cause I'm like, I cut that fantasy off real quick because I could tell he was like getting turned on by the ultrasound. No, ouch. Yep, shut the fuck up. I put them in check so quick. I put them in check so fucking quick. He went from shit to ow in a heartbeat. It was like that. As soon as he did that, I pushed that probe into his junk so fast. Don't you fucking start. They were dropped on their I am convinced that every XY born, they had to be fucking dropped on their head. They had to be dropped on their head because it's just like it literally is brain damage. Like it's like fuck. How do these men function in the world being like remedial? It's crazy. I can't listen to you when I'm working anymore because I have to bite the inside of my mouth to keep from laughing. That's what's up. Never be nice and then be rude as fuck. Ciao. Ciao. There was a guy that had asked me, "Oh, are you new here? Where are you from? Are you single?" And I said, "I'm married." He said, "Oh." He said, "I'm sorry." And he wouldn't walk away. He literally wouldn't walk away. And so I literally gave him the crazy eyes. I do the big old crazy eyes and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm married. Yeah. Yeah." And then I started following him and he finally walked away. Like, honestly, I just turn into either a bitch or someone extremely crazy to get them away from me. I do. It's either bitch or crazy lady. Those are my two autopilot responses to any man that's talking to me. I'm like, I'm married and I'm crazy. And I already have my next ploy. I already have my next ploy on if I see him again and he asks me, "Oh, you're married?" "Yeah, my husband is actually he's getting investigated for murder." He's getting investigated for murder. I can't talk a whole lot about my husband. So next time he see me, yep. Exactly. Make sure you say allegedly to make it believable. I'm gonna be like, no, I can't really say much about him because allegedly he killed somebody. So I really can't speak a whole lot where he's under investigation. I can't. I can't talk too much about him. But y'all, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. The live stream was fun today. Um, yeah, once you guys leave, if you haven't liked the live stream, please like the live stream. And I will talk to you guys next time.